Hello, welcome to Burn It Down, a Vampire the Masquerade livestream campaign. Couple of notes before we get started. Unfortunately, we're going to be down 2 players for the evening. There were some unavoidable emergencies that came up. That's fine. I know if you are here via any ad pushes that were done, you might have gotten an idea of what might be happening, but we're going to be pushing some of that big content back for a session so that hopefully everyone will be here for it. So I apologize for that. It was truly unavoidable on the part of the players who are missing, but it should be still a fun game, maybe a little bit more personal, scaled down. But those are fun too. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and bring those who are here in. Yay, it's Dylan McKenna. Hi, guys. How are you guys doing?
Bronchitis the old, but otherwise it's excellent.
Fantastic.
Pretty okay.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started pretty much right where we left off. Cadence, you have 5 superficial damage on your character, which is not insignificant. And you are essentially getting your way back into the haven. Madison is helping you in. I believe we're going to order a pizza boy. Was the plan?
That was the plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the way this healing in this system works, or that sort of thing works, is that for every, at least at your level of blood potency, for every level of superficial damage you'd like to try and heal, it's a rouse check.
Okay.
So right now I believe you're only at hunger 1, so feeding isn't your first concern right now.
No.
Unless you wanted to kill the guy, you wouldn't go down any hunger. So I'm assuming you'd want to try and get some healing done first.
Yeah.
See how
do that and see what I'm like after.
Yeah. So like I said,
mending some of those
it's 1 rouse check per damage healed. If you succeed or fail that check, the damage goes away. It's just if you fail on the rouse check, the hunger goes up. So let's decide how many things you want to heal right now, and we'll see how it goes.
Just do all of it. Good for him.
I was gonna say 3.
That'd be 5 rouse checks. I mean, you can do it piece by piece. Like you can go one after the other if you so desire.
Wait, so it's 1 level or 1 check per damage healed. So I want to try to heal 3, so I would do 3.
Yeah. Well, I said, you can do it one at a time. I mean, if you get 3 successful rouse checks, and you healed 3 damage, your hunger hasn't increased any, and you can try. So like I said, I would suggest going level by level, just to see where the dice hit you. So why don't we go ahead and roll to heal your first level, if that's
like press your luck, but with human vital fluid.
Big money, no whammies. That's a success for the first one.
Okay, you will your blood to start moving to the areas of the greatest damage, and you're able to keep the beast in check, even though it snarls from within, saying, "Hey, that's my good stuff. That's my go fuel." But you want to go try for another one?
Yes. That's a fail.
Okay, yeah, so the flesh continues to knit back together in this, horrible parody of life, but the beast lets out its chain. It lets you know that there's a cost to this, that it's going to demand payment. You want to keep going?
Yeah, I'm going to do 1 more.
Okay.
And that's a success.
Okay, yeah, the body comes back together and you rein that beast back in.
You're barely even hungry. You can do more.
You could. You're still, like, at this point, you just basically have, like, your shoulders a little out of whack, and, like, you've got massive bruising, like, on your, like, you can tell you got massive bruising on your chest area where he kind of grappled and crushed you. So it's up to you if you want to keep going.
One more.
One more? All right, we'll see.
One more. Because I think, like, Hunger 3 is something I'd be pretty comfortable being at, where, and I haven't hit that yet,
You
so...
haven't? No.
Nope. And that's another success, so I'm still not hungry.
You're still at Hunger 2. You are in control of your beast. So yeah,
honestly extremely surprising. I'm not going to complain, but it is surprising.
So that chest fully comes back into proper wholeness, and it's just that arm, it's just that shoulder that he kind of got out of sync. It's still there.
Man, that's a failure.
That's a failure,
Hunger 3 it is, but I have no more damage.
Yeah, you are completely healed, and with that last little bit, you just feel kind of the beast dig its claws in and like rip the shoulder into place, and then you just feel that emptiness, that hole inside you is really insistent that it's time to be fed.
So, what was that about a pizza boy?
Oh, well, I was just thinking that maybe a kind benefactor might order a few large pizzas for the people 6 blocks down that way. What do you think?
I think I can do that.
Yeah, it's always nice to get free pizza, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
I go on, like, Google Maps and, like, random.org randomly pick, like, 1 out of 100 nearby residences, and one of them's gonna get ordered pizza so that she can fucking grab this pizza boy afterwards.
That is a solid plan. Yeah, so you make that happen. You know, you've got that nifty little tracker on your the website that shows you when the pizza's gonna be there. It shows where his little, like, scooter is coming from.
He's got a scooter.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
It's yeah, but while this is going on, both Willow and Alex, their attentions are drawn to their phone, and they're both kind of in a little texting haze. Willow kind of gets the two of you's attention and says that some of her people are having some issues, and it's going to require her to kind of go off the grid for a little bit. There's some stuff that she has to deal with, and she really can't afford to be in ready contact with anyone. Alex is a little bit... He's gone kind of nonverbal. He's really focused on his phone. You guys eventually, like, get a text from him, like, it bad. And around about the time that you're ready to go pick up your pizza boy, one of his people come and pick him up. And that's them out of the picture. So yeah, so Cadence, going for a pizza boy.
Yep.
Madison's told you pretty much exactly where he's gonna be. And you are able to sort of lie in wait. He basically arranged it so that it went to a place where he has to park his scooter and, like, go into an apartment complex. So you can basically situate yourself in a nice little cranny in between his scooter and the place he's dropping the pizzas off.
Okay.
So what I'd like from you is just a Dex stealth roll.
Okay.
And do include your hunger dice.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be any fun if I didn't.
Indeed.
That's 2 successes, no relevant hunger results.
Fantastic. Yeah, you are able to sort of hide yourself away in the exact right spot. This kid, he looks like he's, maybe a couple days over 18. passes you by on the way
Mm-hmm.
with like just a huge stack of pizzas in his little carrier. And then about 5 minutes later, he passes right by you again, and you are just able to reach out and grab. And so yeah, you are able to assuage your hunger. How much hunger are you taking away?
2.
2? Okay, so you're
Yes.
not taking this poor kid's life.
Nope.
Okay. So yeah, you take the blood from him. He's obviously caught, with a moment of surprise and then just barreled over by the feeling of the kiss. And when you're done with him, when you've taken what you need from him, he's wobbly. It's hard for him to stand. He just kind of slumps down, kind of middling between consciousness.
Can I try to lift his wallet?
Yeah. Give me a. I can't remember what the is larceny a skill in this thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Go.
have 2 dots in it.
Yep. Go ahead and give me a dex larceny.
Dirty.
Ominous.
3.
That's what God is unhappy with you, Cadence.
Yeah, there's a thunderstorm where Dylan and I are.
I imagine the viewers have to have been able to hear that from one of us.
I'm pretty
I
sure
heard
they
it.
did. Yeah, nice. So yes, God is very unhappy, but you are able to lift his wallet. Just no fine. He's got maybe like $40.
It's fine. She wants his credit card.
He's got a debit card.
It still works. She can still sell that info.
Fair enough. And I don't think like petty larceny is against any chronicle or personal tenets for you. So
Nope.
there's no problem with this kind of behavior. Yeah.
Gotta pay the bills somehow.
Indeed you do. So yeah, you hop away with a skip in your step. So Madison, are you up to anything while she's off tending to her needs?
So I am alone for the first time in a while.
Yeah, you are.
So I'm gonna listen to some nice music. I'm gonna indulge in my private habit, which is drinking wine, because I can actually do that.
You can.
I'm Humanity 8, so I can digest it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna sit and listen to whatever's popular right now, whether or not it's good.
Looks at notes. Lo-fi hip hop to chill and relax to.
I mean, yeah, lo-fi hip hop to chill and plan world domination to, and just sip on it's just some cheap wine that I keep for this sort of occasion. It's not really that it's good. It's a way to stay connected and feel.
It's the ritual of it more than the quality.
Feel real, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
nope. I mean,
listening to whatever shit is popular and sipping on some Moscato, probably.
It does the job. Really, a white. I mean, if you want to go off brand, I guess that'll do it.
Listen, it's a little tropey, don't you think? Looking like Dracula up in here. What is a man?
Well, a miserable pile of secrets, of course.
Yeah,
but have at thee. Anyway, so yeah, so you spend some me time, and eventually Madison comes back. It's getting close to morning. There's maybe an hour or two before the sun rises. So if you guys want anything to accomplish anything before that time,
nothing comes to mind.
I'm probably text a picture of, the debit card to her brother. Just, what to do.
And the front and the back, because you have to get the 3-digit number.
Those 3 wacky digits.
Those 3 wacky digits.
Yep.
This one neat trick. All right, yeah, sure. He gets that information, like text the thumbs up emoji.
That I can't actually get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why don't Madison? I'd like you to give me a wits awareness roll.
Hulky. I'm actually not super amazing at this.
Excuse me.
No problem.
I have a success.
You have a success.
Wait, I have 2 successes. Sorry.
That's even better. So you sort of reconnoitering around the haven while she was away. And it's one of those things that, like, you notice in the back of your head a couple of times, and it sort of accumulates each time you see it until finally it kind of dings over and you realize, oh, that's out of place. You notice that the ceiling tiles, where you know that that microphone are a little disturbed.
He just kind of wordlessly taps Cadence on the shoulder and gestures up that direction with his head.
Huh. What am I looking at?
You can point it out to her.
Pulls the phone out and types, "Something happened to that tile. It's been moved since the last time we fucked with it."
She gestures towards the door, like, should we take this, like, outside?
You'll go that way.
Yeah, so do you guys go out the front or the back?
Step out the back for a second.
Okay, yeah, easy enough.
So
someone's been in a place.
Yes, I don't believe I caught Willow or Alex messing with it, so that would imply that someone has paid us a visit quite adroitly.
So do you want to break this one too?
Not sure there's actually much point to that. I think we should, however, see if it has been simply removed rather than being replaced.
Okay.
They may have come to collect the data.
Right. As opposed to putting a new one in entirely.
Indeed. Shall we?
We shall. Like, it's not really my area of expertise, but
I'm pretty sure we can figure out if it's there or not.
Fair enough.
Now, I will say, just looking at the lovely group shot that everyone will see when our intermission comes up, that based on the height differences, I know Cadence would have to get a chair. Madison might be able to take care of it. So, it's not hard. You're able to actually, you probably do need to, either of you need to get a chair just to, like, look up into the ceiling. And yeah, you move the ceiling tile aside. And take a look, and it's gone.
That's what I suspected.
Both the microphone and the phone that it was connected to,
and the
as
Dreamcast.
well, yeah, as well as the Dreamcast.
That's a shame.
Well, at least we can, talk.
Yes.
I wonder, do any of the buildings around us have security cameras on the outside? Maybe they caught who got in.
I'm gonna peek out the window and just see if there are any security cameras in the general area.
There's no real buildings. There is that ATM across the street.
Probably has a camera in it.
It probably ain't gonna catch anything bigger than a fishbowl.
Well,
they're made to be like close-ups, not wide.
I don't actually care about the details. I mostly care about whether or not whomever has entered our haven can be seen by a camera, if you understand my meaning.
Yeah.
I'm going to go take a peek at that ATM, because while I only have 1 dot of technology, I'm a very smart person.
Sure.
And makes up the gap.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and you can head on out and take a look if you want to roll intelligence plus technology.
Hell yeah, I do. Basically, he's just going to walk out and see if there's some way to, like, put it into a maintenance mode where you can review the footage or anything like that.
Sure.
Something relatively simple. Only 1 success.
Yeah, that you sort of poke at it, and yeah, hacking into an ATM is just really not your skis.
Looks like this one's not running on Windows 95. Bad luck for us.
But you do see that there is like a camera that looks straight ahead, and you sort of look around, and you do see that there is a camera that looks down, and you kind of eyeball it and judge that it probably catches a portion of your building,
And
not all of it.
Is that connected to the ATM or connected to the business?
It's connected to the ATM.
He'll put in the card that he uses for managing his masks affairs and withdraw like $20 just to make the whole thing look kosher.
Sounds good.
And stroll right on back over.
So I'd like someone to give me a wits insight roll.
Okay.
Can we both do it?
If you like, yeah.
I'm decent at this, and I think she's also decent.
I'm mediocre at it, but it doesn't hurt to try.
That's not strictly true in this system.
True. I got one.
Got one?
Still do it.
Three? So you're walking back, Madison, into the Haven, and some gears click in your head. They couldn't hear what you were saying while the microphone was still there because you messed with it. So they wouldn't have known about your plans, what you were doing, anything about your, recent activity. And yet they knew to come while you were away. Which means whoever did this knew that you were all going to be out of the Haven. Through means other than listening into you.
That does make sense.
So either you're being watched, or someone had the inside information that you were being called into the cam.
He'll just kind of, as the thoughts come to him, he repeats them to Cadence, just so I don't have to repeat everything.
Well, easiest thing to start with is to case the joint for cameras. I know Alex didn't find any before, but, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to do a second go-around.
Suppose not. My instinct, however, tells me that this was an intended consequence of our summons.
I mean, that also makes a shit ton of sense, and I ain't gonna argue it at all.
They may or may not have even noticed that we disabled it. It might have just been at this time that they intended to collect the information in the first place.
Mm.
We won't be able to know for sure unless we gather some information on the matter, but we may be able to construct a circumstance in which we can get them to tip their hand.
So if you want
to sleepy.
Yeah, if it is getting, the sky is just starting to lighten. If either or both of you wanted to case the joint in the time you have before the sun rises, I'll just let you know that you find no other cameras, no other listening devices.
Okay.
Your place seems to be clean.
Yeah, while she's doing that, Madison's basically just like visibly brainstorming, like sitting in corporate, basically, just like.
Does he have a chess set out in front of him? Like.
No, I'm not that kind of Ventrue.
So yeah,
I play Go. Duh.
Oh yeah, of course. So yeah, the sun rises. The two of you settle into your respective rooms and become corpses for the day.
Yeah.
And when eventually
Wait,
you
could hear that?
Yeah.
I'm muted for that. Okay, that's weird. Hold on.
It's okay. Eventually, the sun sets. People going about their day. But it sets and you stop being corpses. Need a rouse check from both of you.
Rouse Rooney.
That's a success on my end.
Nope.
Cadence is in control of her beast, but Madison, you wake up feeling just a little bit emptier than when you went to bed.
I'm too fixated on the ambition and the counter hunt here, and it gets the beast all riled up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that puts me at 2, so I'm still fine. But
yeah, I mean it's there. You could eat. Yeah. Do you want noodles? The noodles or? No, noodles won't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so you guys wake up, and the night is young.
No Willow, no Alex, huh?
No Willow, no Alex. If you care to inquire, you're pretty sure you can't get in touch with Willow, but if you care to inquire with Alex's people, they just kind of give you the kind of answer that you get when your friend is having a bad mental health day and their parents are covering, but their friends are covering for them.
Gotcha. He's really trying to get the song finished. Okay. Well.
So, got any big ideas in those brain meats of yours?
Well, always. Just none of them particularly relevant to this situation. I could arrange for the records and that camera to be referred to, but I'm not actually certain that would be worthwhile. As you said, the cameras on those things are shoddy at best, at least at the distance that we'd be interested in. I'm going to just, out of curiosity, check and see if anything has happened with the tile and the...
Everything is everything is as you left it.
Okay. We haven't been paid another visit, so let's think about it. We know
something I wanted to bring up. You guys had done some checking up on like the local area. I actually looked at the map a little bit more closely, and have an updated set of information for you as to your direct surroundings. This supersedes what I told you before. So obviously to the south, you have I-20 and their big dragons. To your direct east is a district called Oakland, which, combined with the Capital Gateway district, it's actually, with the level of successes that I believe you got, you actually don't know who has that territory. It's not listed amongst the Camarilla territory, and you're not sure if any Anarch holds that territory. But it's explicitly not mentioned in any of like the records that you find. And then to the north, the slight north of you, there's Sweet Auburn and Inman Park, which are both Camarilla territories. And then to your east, so your west is Oakland and Capital Gateway. To your east is Edgewood, which is an Anarch held territory.
And which group of Anarchs holds Edgewood?
Edgewood is held by basically a kind of run-of-the-mill gang, like criminals in life, criminals in death. They're the E Street Runners. Okay. And they are your sort of your run-of-the-mill, urban protection racket, kind of guys.
I love petty criminals. They're always so easy to deal with. Very straightforward. So, I'm drawing a blank.
Something I will note, because you guys can literally you can see this from where your haven is. When you look into Oakland, there is a fairly large cemetery called the Oakland Cemetery that's abutting your territory. That is the most.
But it's still formally not our territory, right?
It's not your territory. It's not listed as any particular Anarch territory. It's not listed as any Camarilla territory. But it is certainly a district.
So, I am possessed of two thoughts here. One, that we spend the evening digging deeper into the mystery of the disappearing microphone and Dreamcast combo. The other, I have been plagued with curiosity about this unclaimed district adjacent to ours. It's an uncertainty that makes me somewhat uncomfortable. We could also take some time and look into that. What do you think?
Well, what I think is that I'm super fucking pissed that one, fucking cams can come in and drag us to a meeting with their fucking pretty candy princess, beat me up in front of my own damn haven, and then break into it.
That pisses me off too.
Yeah. Pisses me off a lot. But, it's just the two of us, and I know I ain't got the resources to try to finagle whatever information about them or that they have about us. I'm an action person, not a talky person.
So I get the sense that you're not interested in the diplomatic meetings.
No, not at all.
Perhaps we should go take a look around Oakland and see if we can figure out what the hell is going on with it.
Yeah, because, the
Might
camera
be
business, I want to leave that to you and Willow and Alex, the people who can not mess that up.
Well,
Will have a significantly lower chance of messing it up than me.
it's good to be aware of one's specializations, I'll say. And I certainly feel safer with you here, so I hope I can repay that favor.
Thanks.
Of course. So, shall we take a walk, perhaps? Clear our minds, figure out what the hell is going on in Oakland?
Break into a cemetery? Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yes, break into the cemetery. Sure.
What?
I thought maybe we would just walk into the cemetery.
Well, are we supposed to be there? Probably not. And we're going to be there anyway, so yeah, breaking in. It's logic, okay?
You're right. It is.
So yeah, you guys can literally walk 2 blocks and be in Oakland. It is right down Memorial Drive. You basically can cross a fairly, actually pretty busy street at this time of the evening.
Making my way down.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And as you sort of cross into Oakland, on your right-hand side is the beginning of a large cemetery. Obviously, there's a wall with a metal fence around it.
Mm-hmm.
As you sort of make your way around, you pass a rather pretty busy night spot called the 6 Feet Under Bar. Looks like there's a lot of activity going on in there. People are getting their evening started off fairly well.
That could work.
That seems to be a pretty local hot spot there. And about a block or so down the road is the entrance to the cemetery.
All right. Well, I know you're not a big fan of people, but how do you like bars?
Bars have people in them, so by extension, I can hang in a corner and try not to freak people out too much, but if you expect me to make small talk...
Yes, that's not exactly your forte, is it?
Yeah. What do we need to go into the bar for? We can just hop the fence.
Oh, well, I had thought to ask around and see if I could find some inkling as to who would consider this their turf, be they of our kind or otherwise.
Oh. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea, too. Yeah, I can be fine.
There's nothing stopping us from doing both.
Yeah, no. We hit the bar first, and then case the cemetery after.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. So, like I said, 6 Feet Under Bar, it's pretty popular, pretty active. There's some pretty down home rock playing over the speakers. There's not a band tonight, but there's basically a jukebox that's playing some good old southern rock. People are sort of milling around, socializing. There's a game on the one TV that's in here. You're directed if you're looking for a table, you can get one with maybe a 15-minute wait.
Probably just take a spot at the bar, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's easy enough. You wait. Actually, as you sort of approach, couple of guys just sort of turn around, kind of their eyes sort of linger on Cadence for a little bit, and they decide that they don't want to be here anymore. So
She
you're able to
flips
get,
them off.
yeah. Yeah, they just, maybe their self-preservation instinct kicked in.
I just feel like I'm going to literally die if I
Yeah.
stay here. I don't. That's weird.
So yeah, you're able to get a
Food
shot at
poisoning.
the bar. Bartender, attractive, young black girl. She gets your attention, says, "What'll it be?"
I'm feeling unnecessarily fancy tonight. So what do you have in terms of wine?
Oh, we've got the house. We've got a couple. She lists off a couple of like shit to reasonably good vintages.
She gets two in, and Madison just not dismissively, but kind of charmingly, he like pats the bar, and he's like, "I'm just gonna trust your judgment."
All right.
Two,
Okay.
please.
Two. All right. Good times. So yeah, she goes off and fills it up. And
Also, my subtle way of saying, if you want me to bribe you, bring me some expensive ass booze so you make a bunch of money off of me.
Okay, that intention can come clear with your level of subtlety. Yeah. So she goes off. She starts pouring you some drinks, and you're able to sort of take a better look around. The first thing that jumps out at you is you see kind of a corner table that doesn't have anybody in it. It has like a little placard on it that says cemetery tours, 10 p.m. Every night.
Wow, that's convenient.
Mm.
He says to Cadence.
It just looks
Yeah.
like this little table is reserved, so for people to, and there's a couple people like kind of milling around it.
While we're in here, I want to use my Sense the Beast power to see if there are any other kindred in the bar with us.
Okay, go ahead and make that roll.
Okay. That is. Let me go grab my book so I can actually look that up.
Yeah, I'm likewise using Auspex, kind of like just kind of toggling it on and off
Sure.
to
All
listen
right.
into conversations and see if anything juicy's happening anywhere in the room.
Okay.
You couldn't hear that time, could
No,
you?
couldn't hear it that time. That's okay.
Okay, I think I was pulling from my webcam initially.
Yeah.
Resolve and animalism. So 1 and 2, 4, 3. That's 2.
Okay. You almost literally sniff around. You don't detect any beasts of any sorts in this room bar right now.
Okay.
Madison, as you're sort of eavesdropping in, you kind of hear, mostly meaningless chatter. People bitching about the government and bitching about how cold it is, and like, oh well, actually a wet winter is pretty good. It means we're gonna have some good. We won't have a drought in the.
Shut up, Steve.
Yeah. But eventually you sort of catch a snippet of conversation, like saying like, I don't know if I want to do this. I've heard some bad things about this tour. And the guy's like, oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. I can handle anything that comes. If it's a scam or something, I have a good eye for a scam.
I'm gonna linger my attention on them for a little while.
They just kind of go back and forth. She says like, I heard a couple people got mugged. Like, I even heard like somebody saw something once. Like, not a fake, guy in a mask. Like, he's like, that's bullshit. Like, that's just what I heard.
All right, he'll withdraw so that he's not dissociated from the immediate surroundings for too terribly long. He kind of glances over to Cadence just to see if she's noticed anything.
Not yet.
Yeah, she just sort of shakes her head and goes, we're the only interesting ones here.
Well, in terms of interesting things, apparently this tour is plagued with interesting rumors, including rumors that people have seen real things.
Ooh, real things.
Nonetheless, I believe it could be an entertaining, if not productive, way to spend part of the evening. What do you think?
At the very least, we get to see a couple of people be total pansies, and that should be entertaining.
Exactly. The worst case scenario. We can revel in other people's uncomfort.
Yeah, I'm down.
So when you look, there's a sign-up sheet on a little clipboard on that table. There's like 4 names on it right now.
Shall I?
Go for it. I'm gonna watch the game.
Okay.
How do you spell your name again?
Cadence. Cadence.
Right. Of course. He'll stand up, hearing that she has no fake name, and heads over to the... I'm going to put my not Madison name down, my mask name, and then I'm going to put her down as...
Female name, same name as last name as fake name.
I'm going to put her down as Katie.
Katie.
Because that is something that somebody could perceivably fuck up Cadence into. And if you don't believe me, people out there, you've never lived in Georgia. Because our ability as a state to fuck up people's names is unrivaled. Unrivaled.
It's pretty bad. So yeah, you sign up. It looks like there's like a total of 10 slots for these tours. So you're about half full when you sign up.
At this point, I guess I'll stay at the table, right? Because that seems to be the
intent. I mean, you got like an hour or so before 10 o'clock rolls around. Okay. So it's just the information says be here at 10. Sign up, be here at 10.
I'll head back over and let her know that it's done.
Okay. Yeah. So like I said, you got about an hour before whoever's gonna show up shows up. So.
Cadence watches the game and gets way too invested in it, even though she doesn't care about these teams.
Oh, come on! That's interference!
Basically.
I'll kill you! Whoa. Madison's probably going to butter up the bartender a little bit, try to establish her as a basic info and rumor source. Using the cover explanation of like, hey, I'm thinking about investing in this place down the way, but I want to know a little bit about the neighborhood. Like, is this a nice place? Da-da-da, like that kind of line.
Okay. Give me a charisma persuasion roll.
Hell yeah, I will.
Include your hunger.
3 successes.
Nice. Yeah, you are certainly able to butter her the hell up. She's you talked to her for a little bit. Your sort of your predatory instinct susses out that you managed to guide the conversation that she goes to Georgia State.
Excellent. Bonus.
But yeah, she's like, oh yeah, this is a pretty cool area. The downtown's right over there, so there's not a lot of crime. But yeah, there's some interesting stuff. There's obviously the cemetery, and there's some. I think this is one of the coolest bars in the city.
It seems to be kind of off the beaten trail in a lot of ways.
She's like, yeah. I mean, you get a couple of weirdos every now and then, but
weirdos.
Yeah, people who the kind of people that hang around a cemetery.
Right. Gotcha.
And like there's like cemetery and death themed kitsch, like and funeral parlor kitsch up on the walls.
They have an aesthetic.
They do indeed have an aesthetic. And she says, but everyone pretty much behaves themselves, so I mean it's a good area. Yeah, I mean you know, every now and then something bad happens, you know, to people who are in the cemetery. But, you know, it's not a good idea to go around the cemetery at night.
Something bad? I mean, do you have a
Yeah.
cemetery gang? I mean,
No,
what?
you know, people get mugged. You know, sometimes people get
Yes.
beat up.
Weird.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't want to say, you know, there's a homeless problem because, you know, that's not fair to them.
Right.
But, you know, it's a place to sleep, and sometimes people.
Get territorial.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much.
I guess that's not a big deal, though. It's pretty easy to avoid, right? Just don't go in the cemetery.
Just don't go in the cemetery.
Oh, all right. Well, cheers. Thanks for the information.
Yeah, anytime. You around?
I think I will probably go for it.
Cool. You're from around here?
Oh no, I'm from out of town.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, the sports teams are doing infuriating things to each other. Time goes by. A couple, maybe two more people sign up for the tour. And eventually, this guy in a very dramatic big black coat comes in the door, walks up to the table, and looks at the sign up sheet, and sits down. It's like 9:45 at this point.
At this point, I'm gonna go ahead and pay the bill. I'm gonna give her my phone number too.
She takes it
and give her a kind of a little nod. Finish off the last of the wine, and I'm gonna go hover over by the table. I don't know if Cadence wants to cheer for soccer or do that.
I mean, if things are going to be happening soon, she's going to move to where things are happening, where she's supposed to be. So she'll follow.
Okay, yeah. So you guys head over. Like I said, there's like 4 other people. There's 6 other people that kind of group up. A couple of them are talking to the guy in the coat. You know, money's changing hands. And eventually, you know, you guys sort of get next in line if you want to talk to this guy. He says, are you Katie? And what's your fake name, Madison?
Oh, I actually never decided what my fake name is.
Well, now's the time.
My fake name it's just Alex.
Okay. Really?
Wait. Never mind. That doesn't make sense.
No.
Because there's an Alex. Okay. Let's do. Wade.
Okay.
What?
We know a Wade. That's just all I'm gonna say.
Okay. We know a lot of people.
That's true. Anyway, so you're a Katie and Wade then?
Mm.
Like, all right, it's $40 a person. There's a waiver.
Gonna read that fucking waiver.
Let's see here.
We'll read the fuck out of that waiver.
That's gonna be a intelligence academics roll.
Come get on my fucking level, kiddo. This is my thing.
And while he's doing that, Cadence is going to
5 successes.
Oh.
So what were you doing, Cadence?
Oh, she's gonna just like kind of look like sort of teenager, kind of excited, and be like, "Are we gonna see actual ghosts?"
He's all like, "Oh, the many strange things in the cemetery, my dear." So yeah, so you read over this waiver. Most of it's pretty standard, but there is some very strong, you know, participate at your own risk language in this. It's don't go off the trail of the guide kind of thing. They pretty much, you know, walled themselves away so that if pretty much anything happens on this tour, they're not liable.
I do the same thing. I'll sign it.
Yeah.
It's very suspicious.
Yeah, it is. And hands it over to Cadence.
She signs it.
Okay, good times. Hmm. And he says, he's like, well, we can go ahead and all get ready and go together. My name is Stefan. I'll be your tour on Oakland Cemetery. I know it's a very old cemetery, a lot of old bodies buried here, a lot of stories to tell about strange and unusual things that have happened in Atlanta over the decades. And he gathers everybody up and heads out the door.
I'm very excited.
Indeed. Yeah, so you are, he leads you block away to the entrance of the cemetery. He checks in with a security guard. He checks you all in, and he begins sort of walking down the pathways of this cemetery, telling good old Southern ghost stories, and mixed with historical facts about the city. There's a lot of people buried here from the Civil War era. It's the heart of the city. There's some people buried here from back in the days when it was Terminus. And yeah, he takes you on sort of a meandering little tour. He's not a bad storyteller. If y'all weren't literal blood-sucking corpses, you might get the chills every now and then from his skill. Um, are you guys doing anything on the tour, or just waiting for stuff to happen?
I'm using the opportunity to kind of scan the area, just looking for any signs of unusual activity or any markings of territorial claim or anything like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
just keep an eye on the surroundings.
Okay. Let's see. Go ahead and give me wits. Let's see. If you want to look for like territorial markings, I'd say that's going to be a wits streetwise, because these sort of things would be more like gang signs or whatnot.
I do have a dot in that.
Mhm.
Not only do I have a dot in that, I got 3 successes.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Hey,
Jesus.
Okay, and if
I'm on fire.
and if someone wants to give me a wits occult as well, that would be
sure, I can try that.
You have more dots than I do, then.
I have one. That's
one more than I have.
one success. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So you look around. You see a couple of things scratched here and there that you immediately recognize as mortal gang signs, and whatnot. You don't detect anything that has that kind of flair to it that that connotates kindred iconography.
Are these any immortal factions of any real significance, or are these basically like 2-bit throwaway?
Two-bit throwaway kind of gangs. There's nothing serious here. With one success, McKenna,
Mhm.
every now and then you see something. You can't really ever put your finger on like what it is, but you see a sign like scratched on a tomb or on a headstone or a weird like obviously constructed um, thing of sticks hanging in a tree. Like that's real, but you'd have no idea what it means.
Okay, she's gonna sort of lean up to try to whisper to Madison. So there is some weird, funky stuff around, but I don't know exactly what it is. Like, just and she points the things out that she's noticed, saying, kind of like Blair Witch Project type of vibes.
Okay. How exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm happy we went on this tour.
Cadence, do you remember what the resistance roll for Sense the Beast is?
I just had it open. I think it's composure. It is oh, I actually left out a roll when I did it before. Oh, it's versus composure plus subterfuge.
Okay. I would like both of you to roll composure plus subterfuge then.
Okay.
You know, no big shock what's happening, but
Yeah. That's one.
Are you fucking kidding me? Hold on, I'm just gonna screenshot this so you don't think I'm bullshitting you.
okay.
I got 5
Okay, great.
on 5 dice.
Well done.
Nice.
Any crits or anything of that nature?
Nope, only 110.
Only 110? Okay, nothing I have to worry about then. Okay. Indeed. So around the end of the tour, the guy in the coat, he there's something that comes from his pocket, like a noise, and he stops the tour for a second, and he says, "Pardon me for a moment." He pulls out a walkie-talkie, and goes off a little ways, and leaves you guys relatively alone for a small portion of time.
Okay.
Are you guys doing anything?
Hey.
Now,
Cadence
Madison's
nudges-
gonna say, "Sorry, go ahead."
She's just gonna nudge him in the side and be like, "Can you listen?
Yeah.
You should totally eavesdrop."
Roll that wits awareness.
I'm always eavesdropping.
I believe you add your auspex as well.
Yep. That's 1 die. 1 success.
Okay. He's not terribly far away. You hear his end of the conversation fairly clear. And you sort of hear some muffled of the other end of the conversation. He says, "Well, what do you want me to do about it?" Stall, extended. Like, all right, we'll do. And he comes back and says, "Well, my friends, I've just been told that there's been a sighting tonight, that we might actually get to see something truly supernatural. Now, this is only for the brave of heart. If anyone would like to leave the cemetery," he points to an exit that's nearby, "you may. But one of my watchers in the woods has seen something uncanny."
I think we'll stick it out.
You said we get to see real ghosts, so
The other people leave.
This is lame.
Yeah, the other people, it's a combination of that sounds fucking lame. A lot of people's scam alert goes off. The two that were talking before, the one that was apprehensive about it, no, we're leaving.
Yeah. No, we'll opt out of the mugging, thank you.
pansies.
And it's "Oh, well, yeah, I see you two are brave of heart. This way."
You promised me real ghosts. I want to see real ghosts.
"Oh, my dear, I never promised you anything, but I think you might like what you see." So anyway, yeah, he leads you sort of, goes down one of the pathways a little bit, sort of going deeper into the cemetery, and then veers off on one of the less well-traveled paths into sort of a more wooded part of the area. There's a couple copses of trees near the back of the cemetery. And once you get out of earshot of the rest of the group, the chatter stops. He stops telling stories, and he's just leading you in.
Once there's that change in atmosphere, Madison will just say, "So, to what do we owe the pleasure?"
He says, "I'll let my friend tell you that."
I said,
And he kind of leads you to. It's kind of a little rest area. Like there's some stone benches, and like a little a bathroom building. And he leaves you and says, "Wait here."
It's like
Jackpot.
scream super sketchy to you.
Yeah, absolutely. He actually does raise his hand and say jackpot. Goes for the high five.
Do you leave him hanging?
She'll meet him for that high five.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh God, never leave a coterie mate hanging.
I'm
That's
an
like-
honorary Gangrel now. That's how it works.
I'm adding a chronicle tenet. Never leave him hanging. Like that's just.
I'm fine with that.
That's
yeah.
just cruel. And that's specifically for high fives. Like it has no deeper meaning. Anyway,
know.
so yeah, he walks off, and
Alrighty.
and a few moments go by, and sort of walking up the trail, one of the other trails, you see a lone figure sort of walking through the gravestones, coming your way.
I'll stand back up.
Cadence is gonna stay seated. She's sort of leaning back. She got her legs crossed.
Okay. After a little bit, the person comes, approaches the stone benches and tables, and give me a wits politics roll.
Okay. I had another 5 successes.
Jesus Christ!
I'm
You
just
are-
on a fucking roll tonight, man.
Good
Yeah.
times.
Well, now that you've said that, all your rolls are gonna tank.
I've said it like 3 times so far.
Fair enough.
Third time's a charm.
Right?
Anyway, so you kind of quickly go through your Rolodex of people and faces that you have like on. Excuse me, beer on file.
It's one of the 4 horsemen.
Indeed, it absolutely is. It is one of the 4 horsemen that
It's
you
the
saw.
Samedi.
No, it is actually
Hmm?
it's a very dark-skinned African woman of African descent. She has like tight cornrows. She's wearing a very thick-looking leather jacket over a sort of it's colorful but not brightly colorful dress, silk dress. And she has you can see there's a couple of artful scars on her face.
Dope.
And she has some strange looking jewelry around her neck and on her fingers. She has when she approaches, she sort of pulls out this thin stick of willow branch that's been whittled and carved, and she just sort of taps it against her leg, and she says, "I won't say I wasn't expecting a visit from new neighbors, but still a little rude."
My apologies. We had no specific knowledge of who claimed dominion over this particular area. Certainly,
say
we
hi
had
if
no
you don't know
idea.
Yeah, can't say hi if you don't know who to say hi to.
I hope you will forgive this unintended transgression.
She says, "As I said, it was expected. Do you have specific business?"
For now, we have only 2 interests. One was to get a lay of the land, which I think we now understand far better. Another was merely to touch base in regards to our mutual concern to the south. That is my primary motivation for ensuring that I'm fully aware of what's going on in all neighboring areas.
She says, "Not bad, not bad, not reasonable. I understand. As for concern to the south. I know they don't they don't give you too much information about our goings on, but that's not our concern. We have the same arrangement with them as we have with your baron and your prince.
I see. That's good to know. I will endeavor to ensure you're not bothered by such petty dust-ups, if that is your position in this whole scenario.
She says, we do good work, and we expect to be paid in our independence.
I think that's perfectly reasonable. I appreciate your forthrightness. It clears things up quite a bit, actually.
Good. Good. Word of warning. Cemeteries, this one, others one, not safe places.
For similar reasons.
She says, you're not from around here. She says, she looks at your hat, although, are you from Boston?
Hells yeah!
You may be familiar with these kind of dangers then. She snaps the Willow wand, and about a dozen figures manifest around you. They are semi-transparent, deathly pale. They look like they come from a dozen different eras of the city, and they are just surrounding you, and the temperature drops a good 30 degrees.
It's like I got to see my ghosts.
She says, yes, Atlanta is a dead city. It's historically been more theirs than ours.
Makes a lot of sense.
We tend to that balance between their interests and ours.
Oh.
So like I said, you're welcome. Like I say, we do hard work. Their needs are strange. So like I said, cemeteries, anything that has to do with the restless dead, leave it be. If it comes looking for you, you can call on us. But if you've
Immensely appreciated.
But if we find you've provoked it,
well, forewarned is forearmed, as they say, and now that you so generously notified us as to this state of affairs, I can speak for all of us when I say we have no desire to fuck with zombies.
None whatsoever.
this is, the proper term is wraiths.
Oh, learn something new every day.
This is, zombies exist, but these are the restless dead, not the reanimated.
Well, thank you for that as well. You've been immensely kind. Is there something we can do for you in return?
This isn't a kindness, young kindred. This is making sure that things run smoothly.
Nonetheless, your patience with my ignorance on the matter, I do consider a kindness, or at very least a courtesy. And so I would ask if there's anything that our coterie could do to help you.
She says,
minor as it may be.
I'll keep it in mind.
We are neighbors after all.
Say a minor affair to be named later?
In exchange for what we have spoken, as well as a delineation of what you consider your territory, that we may ensure our affairs do not intersect with yours. I do believe a minor favor would be fair.
He says, our grounds are the Capitol Gateway in Oakland proper.
Nothing more?
He says, but our arrangement allows us to roam where we wish.
Very well.
She says, like I said, the dead have needs. There may be a time when we need help in settling their affairs so that things remain easy between our kinds.
Seems to be a matter of mutual self-interest, so I will extend that minor favor to you as requested.
So be it. She says, Malia, by the way.
Madison.
Cadence.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
There are two others of our coterie. He gives a brief, actually just show her pictures, actually, from his phones. Like, these two are also with us in case you
She looks at your phone when you show it to her, like there's a kind of a sneer of disdain. Anarchs. Anyway.
Yeah, we are. Well, I don't want to waste any more of your time on this lovely evening.
Indeed. She says, they've sensed your presence. You should follow my friends. And when she does that, about three fairly large serpents slither out from around the base of the table and say, they'll show you the safe path.
Thank you. Best of luck.
We make our own luck.
I like that.
Good evening. And the serpents take you on a somewhat winding path, avoiding certain gravestones and paths entirely until you reach an exit to the cemetery.
All right.
And then
that went really well.
Slither
back into the darkness.
Okay, so question.
Mm-hmm.
Would the question about Cadence being from Boston trigger any memories or knowledge that she might have? Because the player has no clue what she was referring.
Boston, in the world of darkness, while it is, I forget if there's been any updates to it, but in nights past, it has been nominally a Camarilla city, but it's really a Giovanni stronghold.
Ah, okay.
So the clan of Death holds that land pretty well, and it's reasonable to expect that in your time in Boston, you would have at very least have encounters with Giovanni,
okay.
which may or may not have resulted in seeing a wraith or seeing something connected to wraith activity.
Okay.
Diggity.
Cool. Neat. All right. Thank you for clearing up that particular bit of curiosity.
No problem. So yeah, you are basically you're led. The exit that you're led to is right at the edge of your territory and theirs. There's a pretty explicit connotation to where they're kicking you out.
Mm-hmm.
Totally fine with me.
So yeah, you're back in your domain.
So maybe it's just me, but I was really resisting the urge to make a Ghostbuster joke. You're welcome.
Yes, that might have actually gotten us both killed, so I appreciate it.
I can show self-restraint sometimes.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna head back to the Haven and take some notes.
I think I might keep walking for a bit.
No. I'll come back when you feel like getting into some other sort of trouble. And if you get in any on your own, just let me know.
Will do.
So are you going on your patrols or heading?
Yeah, she's just gonna, pace the area, make sure nothing terrible is going on.
All right, sounds good. Madison, are you getting up to anything specific?
Yeah, I'm just inputting this information into my relationship matrices that I keep in my notebooks. Because he's actually in a pretty good mood, because instead of it being Baron Train is obviously super corrupt and these guys are his fucking like leash holders, it's like a completely different thing that is way less bad. So he's like very happy to like cross out some notes and like adjust some predictions and just get it all written down.
Oh man, he is such a politics geek.
Yeah, I am.
He's all like, oh, my 12-point plan, I get to update it, yay!
Excellent. Yeah, it's quite.
Yeah, so the
But
evening...
yeah, he's pretty much going to do that, and then maybe just spend some time maintaining influence for the evening.
Cool. Yeah, your patrols are uneventful. There's no real, nothing jumps out at you or has any problems. You do, when you kind of do a sweep of the southern border, you sort of see off in the distance, like across that bridge that I showed you. You sort of hear the sounds of like a pretty raucous party going on out in the streets, and you can see like evidence of a fairly large fire. Whether it's contained or not, you're not sure. But there is actually...
That's on their side.
Yeah, but like there is actually like a fire station right there on the other side of that bridge, so it should be fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, you hear sounds coming from down there, which may or may not mean something.
Let's see.
All right. Well, we're going to take our break a little bit early. And when we come back, I think we're going to do a little bit more zoom out time. Get some more abstract stuff done for the remainder of the session. So we will see you when we see you. And by all means, please enjoy the fan art that has been put in our intermission. Alright, welcome back to Burn It Down, Vampire 5th Edition. Woo! So we had some spooky times in the graveyard. That was fun. We were gonna do some zoom out stuff, but we actually talked off screen. There's a scene that has been sort of brewing in the back of my head that we can go ahead and take care of now. So, a couple nights pass. Go ahead and just give me 2 rouse checks to cover it.
Each,
yeah.
Pass. That's 1 pass, 1 fail, so I'm
Okay.
at 2.
1 pass, 1 pass.
Okay, cool.
So I'm also at 2.
Nice. So yeah, a couple nights go by. Cadence, you get a little hungrier, but you know. Y'all follow up on a few things. You guys kind of have a lot of a spinning plate. Still haven't heard back from Willow. Alex does start slowly responding to texts. But he sort of mentions that like he's got some business that he needs to take care of. It's still kind of that standoffish non-responsiveness that you kind of can figure out what's going on. Anyway, so Cadence.
Yes.
Have you been keeping up in your efforts to try to keep an eye on Regan?
Yeah, when she has some free time, she does a minor bit of stalking. Goes around where she knows she lives, make sure things are okay.
So you catch a couple glimpses of her. She mostly stays in her dorm at night. She doesn't go out very much. But when you're kind of walking around the campus or near the campus, you happen to find a flyer for and you see her picture on the flyer, like in a group shot, and it basically says like interfaith bonfire mixer, and it's going to be on X night, where X night is this night that we come back to.
Okay.
And it's going to be held. In one of the parks near the campus, and it's like community welcome. So it's like it's not exclusively a college event. So you actually like that sort of pings in your head that's probably the perfect time if you wanted to like actually either get some interaction with her or just sort of get close eyes on her.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like a fun time. Bonfire aside, she can handle that.
So are you going to be planning on going to that?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. Do you inform Madison? Like, is that something you would rope him in on?
If he wants to go, sure. I don't think he would have shared his feeding preference with us yet, would he?
I don't think he's explicitly said it. No.
I will say, Madison, even if you don't want to do it, like that's the sort of thing that would come up on your radar.
Right. Yeah. It's a relevant thing. So.
Yeah, she would mention that she was going to it just to let everyone know where she's gonna be, and if Madison wants to tag along, she's not gonna say no.
That's tonight. Sure, I'll come.
All right.
It's exciting. Everybody coming together and celebrating their mutual faith in God.
I know, right? It's so beautiful.
Heartwarming, really.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, actually warming because there's going to be a bonfire.
Right, that's true. Literally.
Yeah.
Heartwarming.
Sorry, that was dumb.
It's okay.
Cool. Okay, so you guys, it starts at 8:30. So you guys are able to sort of put yourselves together and tie off any loose ends that you might have for.
I will blush of health for this actually, because this is a lot of people.
Noted.
Actually, yeah, that's not a bad plan.
Which, since I am humanity 8, I get a reroll.
That's cool. Yeah, so that's a rouse check to do that.
Okay.
I get to roll twice and take the better, and I succeeded on one of them, so I'll take that one.
Yeah, success on mine as well.
Excellent. So you are able to move the blood through your bodies to reinvigorate your flesh, to return that healthy sheen, to start breathing regularly again, not just when you need to speak. Blink from time to time, as a normal human do.
Yes, blend in with the locals.
So yeah, I mean, normally I think, Cadence, you take buses to get where you're going.
Yeah. If she can't walk, she'll take a bus.
Yeah, it is a decent way. It's in a fairly distant part of the city. Still on the east side, but a good chunk to the north.
Cadence, I can just call an Uber.
Oh yeah, you can do that with your magic smartphone shit.
No, it's the money that lets me do that.
I mean, yeah, that too. But I can't actually get that on this brick.
I mean, we can also get you a new phone.
No, I like this phone.
Okay.
All right. So you call an Uber. It comes, picks you up. It's as convenient and impersonal as it always is.
Yes.
My
two favorite properties for transportation.
Oh man, I saw like I won't relate the story, but I'll convey it in game. Like you're sitting there, and like your sort of eager senses pick up like something flashed on their phone, and what was your fake name again, Madison?
Oh, Oh, it was like Wade something.
Wade, that's right. You just see a little alert pop up. It says "Talk to Wade," and he says he's like he just starts like some meaningless small talk that has literally no meaning. You can engage with it on autopilot, but it's the thing that they want their Uber drivers to do, and they've automated it. That's literally a
Is
thing.
that a real thing?
That is a real thing.
I'm out.
I think
I'm
we
done.
killed him.
Yeah. It literally
That's
doesn't.
disgusting.
I know. Oh man.
As he's rattling on whatever prepared conversation he has, Cadence is just gonna give him a look like, dude, shut your hole.
He shuts up. Like when he locks eyes with you, he shuts up.
Good. She smiles at him and leans
And-
against the chair
and
and,
the
waits
and-
for the ride to end.
And the rest of the ride is absolutely silent. Like he doesn't even thank you or like help you out or anything like that. He just like stops, unlocks the door, you get out, and he's gone.
5 stars.
Well,
Driver was polite.
So yeah, you guys are in a fairly well maintained college park area. There's a fire truck in the parking lot, like at the ready. And you see the glow of a very large fire in the distance, in sort of one of the more open areas of the park, and you see a couple dozen people sort of milling around, going at picnic tables, and getting drinks, getting hot drinks out of electric kettles and whatnot. It is still winter, so this isn't like a barbecue, but it's a kind of a winter get together.
So, whose territory is this in?
This is making me think. This is Anarch territory.
Mhm.
It is the Post Life Women's Collective.
I will give a courtesy ding through whatever means I've established to just be like, hey, we're in town. Nothing important, just hanging out.
Okay. You get an acknowledgement, completely, with context-free acknowledgement.
Yeah. It's good to be polite.
So yeah, like I said, there's a couple of tables set up, for the various faith organizations and like nearby religious organizations, and people are just sort of having a good time. Mostly women here, but there are a couple of men. But yeah, it just seems like kind of a chill get together. And yeah, I mean, it's real hard for you guys to summon the will to even like get close to the bonfire, because it is very bright and very hot, and it just scratches at that thing inside of you that does not want to. So it would take a considerable effort to approach such a large fire. But most of the people seem to be around it, because it's a big fire and it's kind of cold.
Fair enough. Can I make a roll to try to get eyes on Reagan? See if I can spot her in the crowd.
Let's see here. What would be a good roll for that? Give me a wits investigation roll.
Okay. Where is that? That's 2. Okay. That's 3.
3. Yeah, you are able to see her. She is sitting at one of the table, at the Pan-Pagan Faith Collective.
Nice. She's going to.
And she's engaged in conversation with a couple of people. Uh, just amicable. Doesn't like. There's no raised voices. It seems to be a pretty chill event.
She's going to sort of shift so that she is sitting so that Madison will be like in the line of sight between her and Reagan, so that if Reagan does happen to glance this way,
No, so
she sees Madison.
So you're not approaching her. You're not trying to get her.
Not right now, but she doesn't like. She's watching her like very intently, but she doesn't want anyone knowing that she's watching.
Noted. Yeah, you're able to keep your eyes on her, and unless you're trying to be particularly subtle about it, Madison, you realize that you are being maneuvered and utilized as a physical object.
That's fine. No offense taken.
Yeah.
Although he will give kind of like a what the fuck look, like why?
What was that?
I don't know. Yeah. So you guys, you guys, like I said, where you guys are standing. It's not like the big locus of attention. Eventually, a pair of girls, very well dressed girls, approach you and say, "Well, what are y'all doing out here in the cold? Why don't y'all come over to the fire?" They have little black name tags.
We're shy.
She's like, "Well, it's all right."
We're from up north, so kind of feels nice over here.
She's like, "Oh, well, that's not, where from up north are y'all?"
New England.
Oh, I heard it's really pretty at this time of year. Kind of barren, but I hear like snow. We never get snow down here, except when we do, and it's really bad. And they just
you don't know bad, sweetheart.
She's all like, "I'm sure it's really bad up there, but we don't have like salt trucks or anything."
They don't have the infrastructure.
Yeah, so like I mean, bless her heart. I mean, I'm sure they have their reasons, but a couple inches of snow and the whole city falls to pieces.
Yeah, I walked out of my house once and there was 6 feet of snow on the top of my car.
Yeah, that's amazing. She's like, "Yeah, I went to Sweden on my mission, and that was crazy in the winter."
Oh, yeah, mission. So, which table are you guys from?
Oh, we're with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Oh.
She's like, "Are the two of you part of a congregation? Do you have a faith that you would?"
We are.
Really, what faith? We love hearing about other people's beliefs.
What's the name of the congregation that existed in our Haven before again?
The Blessed Night Revival Hall. Blessed Night Revival Hall was the name of the building.
I remember the Blessed Night congregation down on the south side of the city. He says, "Total straight face."
Nice. She like one of them just like, "Oh, that's great," and the other one actually kind of like clams up a little bit, and she says, "That's really great. We hear they do good work. I think we need to go ahead and talk to some other people." And she like pulls her sister aside.
Looks like friends before had a reputation.
Yeah, not how I would have liked to find out, but
I mean, it was a better answer than Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, which is what I would have said, but
yeah.
That's beautiful.
I'm totally eavesdropping on whatever bitchy things they're
saying.
Oh,
Okay. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You're able to pick that up fairly easy. They're like, I hear that they're kind of a hippie thing. They do, there's drugs. We don't need to be talking to them. They're lost.
Okay. They just think we smoke weed. And that's scary to them because they're Mormons.
Everything's scary to a Mormon. So speaking of scary, could I ask you something in confidence?
Of course.
Okay. So, if there was someone here that I actually did want to maybe talk to. would that be a good idea?
What? I mean, it's just, is it a friend or something?
Maybe?
You're gonna have to give me a little more to work with if you want an actual answer.
Sorry, I don't do the feelings thing all that often.
Right.
So, someone I knew.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I see. Well, we could see about opening a table of our own. And then,
For the Blessed Night Revival Hall.
well, we are the legal and practical owners of that congregation at this junction, aren't we?
It's not a congregation anymore. Didn't we take the sign down?
It's still technically a congregation. I mean, people congregate there.
Yeah.
In a religious fashion.
Okay.
But anybody seeing a table they haven't visited yet in this sort of atmosphere is probably going to come by at some point, which would give you a natural excuse to introduce yourself.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Unless you just want to have them just walk right up to them.
Yeah.
Who is it? He kind of looks around.
She points over to Reagan's table.
When you point over to her table, she's no longer at the table.
Yeah. What? No. I just.
So
you can make another wits investigation
Yeah.
roll.
She is.
Make sure you have those beautiful red hunger dice.
Oh yeah, totally.
One of these days, one of you is gonna trip.
I know.
That,
I'm waiting for
trip
it.
that
I'm
switch.
waiting for it.
it's just rare enough that it hasn't happened yet, but it always feels like it's about to.
Mm-hmm.
And if we ever go to 3+ hunger, it'll suddenly feel like a serious fucking risk.
Yeah. Well, I got 4, but none of those are 10s. So.
Okay then. So you look around. You kind of get into like crouch mode, like looking around because you don't immediately see her. So you are having to go into more of a hunter mode. And you eventually do spot her. You barely see her because she's actually a good distance away now.
Mm-hmm.
She is on the other side of the fire. And like she is talking with someone privately. Like they are she's having a one-on-one conversation with someone. It looks like another woman. Looks like she's a good like 2.5 foot taller than she is. So she's like talking up to her. And that's what you see.
Okay, she's over there now, talking to the tall lady.
So is this girl particularly short?
No, she's average height.
Okay, so she's just talking to a fucking Amazon.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Wow, tall doesn't begin to cut it. Goodness. Why don't we walk the outer circle a little bit and get a little closer?
Okay. Let's do that.
So I'll move us basically to like
Okay.
the 90-degree.
All right. So are you guys being trying to be casual about this? Are you trying to not attract any attention?
I mean, is there anything of note other than the bonfire, even if it's minor things like trees and plants and shit that I could be like showing a topical interest in?
I mean, there's like some statuary, some whatnot. You could presumably be looking at that while you're on this trajectory.
And I'm very high academics, so I can totally rattle off some cool info about those to create cover for Cadence moving around.
Yeah, you were in a college environment, so like that is
easy.
Like that is totally accepted.
In fact, I might be able to get us all the way up near where you can grab her when she exits that conversation.
Okay.
Actually grab her. It's a figure of speech.
Okay. All right. It's
Most
good.
people find it rude.
Okay. Yeah. So
Some of them find it sexy, but most of them find it rude.
I'll take your word for it. Okay, thanks.
Yep.
So yeah, you're able to get close. Like they're obviously like
half us up there.
Yeah, you are. They're obviously having a private conversation,
Mhm.
so they're not around anybody else. So it would not be. It'd probably not be a good idea to like walk up to them. But you get probably just out of earshot.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to listen in?
Always.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do a wits awareness roll. Or
Yep.
yeah.
Would
Actually,
that be something I could?
You could make a wits awareness roll, but the results will be modified because you don't have aspects.
Yeah,
for that.
fair enough.
I got 3 successes.
Okay, let's see what.
I did get a critical.
You did get a critical.
And one of the 10s is on a hunger die.
Okay,
Oh.
interesting.
Oh.
So
Oh.
the choice that you have at this point is essentially you can spend a willpower to re-roll 3 non-hunger dice, and perhaps not get a messy critical. Otherwise, you will be getting a messy critical.
I mean, what is a messy critical going to do on an Auspex roll, necessarily?
We'll see.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's just do it.
You're just doing it?
Just do it.
Okay, cool.
I mean, whatever. We haven't had one on screen yet. Let's just fucking do it. What's the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to listen predatorily?
You just might.
It'll be fine.
Okay. So, did you roll a Cadence?
I also had a 3. And
Had a 3.
None of
All
them
right.
were 10s.
None of them were 10s. Okay, fantastic. Well, if you got a critical, remember that's double successes. So that's big. So that's 5. I'm talking to Madison. That's 5 successes. So McKenna, Cadence, you hear the tone of the conversation, and it's not pleasant. It is a heated conversation. You're not really able to make out what's being said particularly, but you definitely hear that this is not a pleasant or polite conversation between these two.
Okay.
Madison, you hear every word of this, and you can definitely tell that it is not a good conversation to be having. They are talking about they're throwing around a lot of words that you don't understand particularly. They're not speaking in another language, but they're using terminologies that just don't parse with the conversation that they're having. But they're talking about like a transgression of some sort, or a misstep, something is being misused, that there was an incursion that wasn't dealt with, and you just find yourself utterly enraptured by this conversation because clearly something's going on. Like, this is not mundane that they're talking about. And you just cannot help yourself staring, unblinking. The blush of life fades from you as you just enter into a pure predatory stillness, gathering in this information that is power to you.
Do I notice this?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Like Madison goes from just casually making movements and regularly breathing to just stone silent and still, and his eyes are just unblinkingly open, looking, and eventually the taller woman looks your way.
Cadence is gonna tug on his sleeve like, "Yo,
shut up.
Tone it down."
Does that do anything, or?
It does. You can shake out of it if you want to try and reestablish the blush of life. That will that will probably return you to a more normal state. So go ahead and make a rouse check there.
Yeah, I get to make 2, and I got success on one of them, so I'll do that. And he will like very clearly like kind of like pop his face a little bit and run his hands through his hair, rub his eyes, like oh fuck, and like make a point to not look over there anymore. Like,
I would like
Okay.
from Madison. I would like a composure subterfuge roll.
Okay, luckily I'm pretty good at that.
And did you succeed on your rouse check?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Humanity 8's real good for that.
Oh yeah.
I got 3 successes.
Okay. That woman, although she's not like looking at you, she is occasionally looking your way. Like her attention is is split between the woman she's talking to and you.
Hey, Cadence.
And eventually, like when she's looking at you, like her attention very quickly goes back to the smaller woman, and like she just moves towards her with like a shove, and like she shoves at the girl, and the girl takes a few steps back, like visibly shaken, and like the woman just kind of.
Oh. I don't like that.
Because I'm burnt, so it's on you.
You don't need to say anything. Cadence probably isn't even paying attention to you after she sees that.
Alrighty.
So she's going to sort of not do the smart thing and just sort of stomp right on over and sort of put a hand up on the taller woman's shoulder and just
it's almost you almost can't reach it. Like
try to just like shift her attention around.
Okay. Let's see. I would like a double your strength and roll that, please.
Okay, I can do that. Just a 1.
Okay. Yeah, you pull at her, but she stands. She is able to resist any kind of attempt to maneuver her, but she quickly turns around to look at you, to look down at you, and says, "What the fuck do you want?" Now that you're closer to this woman, you see she looks like 10 miles of bad road. Like she has like visible scarring on one side of her face. She's not dirty, but she's not well kept at all. She's got very close cropped shaved head. And like she said, "What the fuck do you want?"
I want to know what business you got picking on people smaller than you.
And she says, "Well, it's none of fucking yours, that's for sure." She sniffs at you.
Alright, huh. You know, better safe than sorry. Sense the beast on this list.
Okay.
Madison is going to mundanely do that in that he just realized what the fuck is happening, but totally cannot intercede. Because I will die.
That's 1.
1 success. It's kind of surprising you don't detect anything from her. She has this sort of a steeliness comes over her, and if there's a beast here, you can't detect it.
So she's just really weird. Okay. And he goes, "Yeah, maybe it's none of my fucking business, but far as I know, this is supposed to be like a nice, touchy-feely, get-to-know-each-other type of gathering, and that's the wrong kind of touchy-feely.
At this point that you hear from behind you and says like, ma'am, I appreciate your help, but please, this is something that I'm taking care of. Do you turn to her, or you keep eyes on the girl? Because she hasn't.
She's going.
Because you don't think she's seen your face yet.
Yeah, she's going to. Yeah, she'll glance at her and hope that, what is it, like 2 decades worth of distance will have caused some forgetfulness, because she wants to see how, like, if Reagan is actually hurt.
Okay. Hold on. I need to look at something. Actually, before we do that, I would like you to roll Composure Subterfuge for me, please, Cadence.
This lady is something, and the player knows it, but metagame. That's 1.
1?
Mm-hmm.
So you glance back at Reagan. You make a quick glance. She doesn't look seriously injured. She looks more shooken from it. You don't think that she actually got hurt by that.
Okay.
But when you turn back, that woman is like a step and a half closer to you, and she has her hand, like, puts it on your shoulder. And she says, "Why don't we go have a talk?"
Yeah, let's chat. Mind if I bring a friend?
Mr. Deadeye's over there?
Well, yeah, because clearly you got no problems pushing people around what's smaller than you, so I gotta make sure that poor me's protection.
She just kind of snarls and says, "Well, we're going in this direction, so if he wants to follow, he better be quick on the uptake." And she like starts manhandling you off further into the wooded area.
I'm totally going. Totally coming.
Yeah, so you guys head off, and from behind you, Reagan says, "Look, this isn't over. We still need to talk about that." And she just gets ignored.
Yeah, Cadence does not. She's not going to resist being manhandled at this point. Maybe try to shrug it off and make it clear that she's going willingly, but she's not going to try to start a fight. Not in front of so many people.
Noted. So yeah, you guys are off in a yet further private area of this park, and like she like sort of shoves you into place, and Madison, you're able to catch up in time, and like she just starts like pacing in front of you.
You gonna be okay? Do you need a minute?
He says, "If I needed a minute, you'd be both dead. What the fuck are you doing here, leech?"
Would it be too much to say that something clicks in Cadence's head when she hears that?
Something could click, yes.
Okay, I'm going to say that something clicks. And she's like, "Oh, well, just out having a good time, trying to, keep an eye on some things, make sure shit's not going down."
He's like, "I know the leeches that prowl this place, and you're not one of them. Neither are you, Dead Eyes."
Nope, just got into town.
He says, "What's your business with the witchling?"
Well, I saw
Madison
someone.
Just like looks. Cadence is like, what the fuck? She's not gonna.
Cadence not paying attention to you at the moment. She's like, she's a little taken back by that, but she tries to sort of bury that surprise, and she's like, I just saw someone getting shoved around. I don't like seeing little people getting shoved around.
That actually kind of takes her aback a little bit. Like, she stops. She's like, I can appreciate that.
Good.
Whatever it was, I wasn't... Your friend here had me out of sorts.
That's
My
fine.
apologies.
Things aren't great between her people and ours, but I'm no truce breaker.
Alright. I'll take your word for it. I am somewhat out of the loop. Like I said, just rolled into town.
She says,
So,
well, word of advice. Don't go sticking your nose where you don't know what the score is.
fair enough. But just want to make one thing clear. That, what'd you say, witchling?
She says, yeah.
I got an interest in her. Not a... No, I'm not gonna, like, go fucking eat her or anything, but I might be around. And I'm just gonna watch. So, we cool?
He says, I'm not her keeper.
Okay. Don't be giving her any bruises.
He says, that's not a normal thing with me.
Okay.
I smell the dead, and I get a little riled.
Well. Apologies for the riling. We done here?
I think we are.
Good.
She walks off. Like, she walks away from the gathering.
Well then.
Yeah.
That was... Well then.
Do you want to go back and speak to that girl?
When you look back, she has gone back to the table that she was at previously, and there are like 4 other people by her, like talking like very intently with her.
I want to. I got a shit ton of questions, but...
The window is closed.
Yeah, and... something tells me that wouldn't be smart.
Then maybe we should head back.
Yeah. Whew. Not what I expected at all.
Seem very protective. You seem very protective of this girl.
Yeah.
There's something I should know about other than her witchlingness.
Well, she... I knew her when I was still breathing. So... Yeah. Can I trust that we keep this between us?
No reason to say anything to anyone else about it.
Awesome.
All right.
Maybe I'll tell you the story eventually, but it's not something I like to think about a whole awful lot.
It's not terribly material to the current situation, and it obviously upsets you, so we can leave it be.
Thanks. Sorry for
Mormons.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not they're not approaching you in any way. In fact, like you kind of get the impression that word has gotten around, and like no one's coming up to talk to you.
Well, makes it very easy for us to leave.
Indeed, it does. You can skedaddle with ease. Another Uber ride home?
Of course.
All right, fantastic. So yeah, you guys head back to your haven. This session brought to you by Uber.
Right.
And the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Please sponsor us.
I'll take Mormon money.
It spends like anything else.
Indeed it does. But yeah, so you guys head back to your haven. It's, around midnight. And unless you guys have anything specific, we can sort of transition for the last little bit of the game into more abstract doings.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. Just before we do that, Cadence would like Madison to know that she's sorry for calling him stupid.
What did you call me?
Last session.
Oh, I forgot. that you
Oh,
said.
yeah.
Well, it was so obviously false that it just didn't even remain in my
Yeah.
memory.
Awesome. I like that. She apologizes like for some minor thing that he forgot days later.
That's so cool.
I think that says something very cool about the character.
But don't worry about it. Really.
Mm-hmm.
All
I
right.
promise people have said much worse things.
So, some time goes by. You guys have some time to attend to some more detail long-term projects. What are you guys getting up to?
I think it's gonna mostly be solidifying the power base. I know I keep doing this.
Yeah,
but
that's
I've already purchased 2 extra dots of it.
Yeah,
so far
that's
this
fair.
campaign.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean
So-
that takes some legwork to do. Some calls made, some call this guy so that they'll call that guy to make this arrangement. Like it's actually
Finding the leverage points to have over different people.
hmm
Mhm.
And when you don't actually have a blood slave that can do your shit in the day,
It
it
just
actually
takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time. Yeah, so Madison gets some paperwork and some glad handing done to sort of increase his hold over the city, or at least certain portions of it.
Right.
Anything Cadence gets up to in particular?
Even though she's, not the most, she doesn't make the best first impressions. If they're, as once she's confident of the lay of the land of their territory and knows how to get around and whatnot,
Mhm.
she's gonna probably go to the
Edgewood?
Edgewood, yeah, the
Mhm.
Anarch territory that borders us, and basically just introduce herself to the people there, especially because from what you said, they seem like they're her kind of people.
Yeah, they are obligatory like chest bumping and like
Mhm.
chest beating aside that happens when criminal types who don't know each other happen. You actually form a pretty easy like rapport with these guys.
Okay.
They are mostly Bruja.
Mhm.
Lower class individuals in their origins. That this is their turf. That you get the sort of sensation that like it's kind of like before enlightenment chop wood carry water, after enlightenment chop wood carry water. Before you die, flex nuts and deal drugs. After you die, flex nuts and deal drugs. It seems to be like they've sort of transitioned fairly easy
Okay.
into this life. It's just now they're vampires.
Yeah, they have superpowers.
Yeah, and she
Exactly.
wants to make sure that none of her her scams and schemes and whatnot infringe upon anything that they're doing.
Oh yeah. You have the hustlin' ain't easy conversation, and like nobody wants any toes being stepped on in regard to that. So like if you're upfront and frank about it, those sort of arrangements can get handled very easily.
Yeah.
And
And
they
then
like
there's-
and they like they want to know like about you. They want to know about your coterie because they haven't seen any of your friends, even though they know you've moved in.
Yeah, it's been busy. She's just gonna say it's been busy.
She's all like, "You aren't gonna start shit with the Sabat now, are you? Because the last motherfuckers."
Not unless they start shit first. Then was just defended ourselves.
Good, because we got some blowback from when they rolled in, and that was that was no good.
Yeah, don't doubt it. No, we intend to keep them out if they step over, but we're not gonna instigate that.
That's good. That's good. I heard a fucking rumor that part of the reason we were able to take back the city was that most of them are fucking gone, man. Like they left, like the country.
Huh.
I don't know what's up with it, man. But you know what? Fucking good riddance. Crazy assholes.
Good to know. Yeah.
And like the ones
I'm with you there.
And the ones that stayed behind, like they seem to be, I don't want to say reasonable because they're fucking crazy ass monsters, but it's easy.
Less crazy, more on the slightly lucid side.
It's easier to manage their bullshit.
Okay.
Like when shit starts, and it starts, it's easier to manage. You can talk to them, kinda.
Okay, good to know.
But still, don't fuck around with them. They'll turn on you in a goddamn instant.
Now that I've dealt, not here, but I've dealt with them before. Not eager to do so again.
Yeah. He's like, hey, we just got a pretty big sip and a rock in. You guys wanna maybe hit it up? We got some homies who hit it pretty hard, and you hit off.
Not my call to make. Let me talk to the guys back.
All right, go home and talk to Daddy. We see how it is.
Hey! We're coterie, and what we do, we make decisions together. So it's not
cool.
going home to Daddy. It's not trying to be mommy.
All right. I mean, we were just asking you.
Okay. All right.
But if you want to go check in, you go check in.
Okay.
So you head back.
Yeah. And then there's one more thing that I would like to possibly make a roll for.
Sure.
Sorry for delaying your zoom out.
That's fine. No, this is all part of it. This is
the zoom out.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So having actually encountered a werewolf face to face, that reminds her of a thing that actually sent to me from the people she ran with before coming to Atlanta, and she wants to know what an impergium is.
That's a very, very good question that will require an intelligence occult.
She heard that word tossed around and she doesn't know it.
That's true. Like I said, that is a very good question that will require an intelligence occult roll.
Okay.
If you would like to, you can rouse the beast to increase your mental acuity to add a die to this roll.
I mean, that would give me 3 hunger dice for an intelligence roll, which...
It wouldn't give you 3 hunger dice. It would potentially increase your hunger.
Okay.
But it's up to you. You don't have to.
Sure, why not?
Okay, so go ahead and make a rouse check.
I did not know you could do that for mental skills.
Yeah, you can do it for any of your attributes.
Alright, well that's a success. So
okay, yeah, you're able to send some blood up to the brain to make your processes whir a little, make that little hamster in the cage run a little faster.
Free power.
Yeah.
Free power with no consequences.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead and intelligence occult plus 1 die.
Okay, that's 3.
3 successes. Okay. So you think back, like, you've run with other Gangrel. And they, more than any other clan, they know about werewolf shit. And you sort of dredging up where you've heard that word before, and like it's old. It's a very old word. It's something they used to do a long, long, long time ago that they stopped doing, and it has a very bloody, unpleasant consequence to it. You can't
Okay.
recall exactly what it is, but it's like some dark, terrible, bloody thing from before they started writing shit down. Like before mortals started writing shit down. Like
Okay.
that's what you're able to sort of figure out about it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And that is apparently something that is on the werewolf grapevine that Gangrel have been able to hear like secondhand.
All right. She's gonna squirrel that away. She's not sure if it's going to be important, but uh, I don't think it's something she'd necessarily let the coterie know about right away, just because she's very unsure of it. But
Sure.
it's something she'll keep in mind.
And it's something that you would probably have to, if you wanted to know more about, you would probably have to track down some older Gangrel who are like
Mm-hmm.
specialized in that sort of thing, who are there because there's a subset of the clan that makes werewolf shit their business.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd probably have to track down one of them to try and get that, or go asking around directly from the source. That will go.
Yeah, that would go over great. So hey, Anna, give you a ring. I'm sure that would go for great, but
You
no.
made such a good first impression after
I
all.
know, right? But yeah, no. So she might look into it more in the future, but right now they've got their own stuff with the wiretap and
Sure, no problem.
whatnot. So for the future, most definitely, but not
mhm.
at the moment.
Sounds good to me. I like it. All right. So, any other plans, any schemes, any other shit that you guys want to get up to?
Is Cadence going to mention how well things went with this neighboring gang?
Oh, definitely. That's relevant to the coteries' interests. So she's gonna let them know that went really well, and that you might want to pop over and say hi yourself, maybe. But Cadence is happy to be the go-between for our territories if you need her to be.
See, that's why I said I love working with people like that. I wasn't joking. They're so much easier to work with than people like me. People like me think too much.
Yeah, you do. But that ain't a bad thing.
But because there are other people like me. Anyway, point being, it's actually really, really. I'm gonna go say hi.
Okay, so you
You
guys.
should probably come with me.
Yeah, probably. They, might get the. You don't got the look.
Nice. All right. So yeah, you guys head on over to Edgewood, and you meet up at the pool hall where those guys hang out. And they give you the high five, high wave, and when you come in, Cadence,
Hey.
and they say it's like so this is your boy.
One of them.
He's like the one who's kind of like the point guy. He's like, hey, I'm Big T, and he like holds out his hand.
I'm gonna shake his hand firmly.
Big firm handshake. Like
I have strength 1.
Okay, yeah, no. I
give him the best I can.
That's good. That's a good handshake. But yeah, he's like, all right, cool. So you're Madison, right?
That's correct.
Heard about you. You're
Good
you're
things, I hope.
high roller, huh?
Yeah. When I'm sure I'm gonna.
That's a good way to look at it, I suppose. So like I said, your girl her, we got some homies that scored some rock, and that's always a good time.
Good. I appreciate the offer, of course, but
All right, I mean, hey, Cadence, you up for it?
Maybe later.
Like, all right.
But
I'm happy to socialize.
I do appreciate the offer.
She's like, all right, yeah. If that's not your thing, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird if you guys want to come and watch,
No, I meant if she wanted to. We're not gonna both hang out and be voyeurs. That
Cool.
would be weird.
Yeah, it would.
A little bit.
He's gonna snap out a spare business card though and hand it over.
He like takes it and like just laughs. You're like, all right, man.
The important thing is the number. You can ignore the other shit.
He's like, I get you.
If you guys need to come or go, just give us a ring. If you got a number
Yeah,
to give
man. No,
me,
we'll
do the same.
we'll hit you up on the thing.
Sounds good.
Like, there's like an informal thing amongst the anarchs. Like, there's like a couple of message boards and like chat rooms that like obviously it's like the rule is don't say anything that isn't innocuous, but we all know what it kind of means.
We have a Discord server.
You basically have a Discord server. But it's like it's the weirdest, most mundane. Like you never talk about anything on
Yeah.
it. You just have
Well, that's like my real life Discord server, so it's completely believable.
exactly. So it's like kind of it's how anarchs keep track of their comings and goings.
Cool. All right. Well, I've got some shit to do, so I'm gonna head. But nice meeting you.
Hey, good meets you, man. Don't be a stranger. Cadence, you want to party?
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right, cool. Let's head back to the pad. So like they take you to a place where they've got a couple of basically blood dolls. Uh-oh. We
Oh, no.
lost Dylan. Hold on, Cal. Sorry about
I
that.
crashed apparently.
That's fine.
Aw.
That's fair. We'll get your video back in a second. Yeah, so you head back to their pad. They basically got a couple of blood dolls who hit that crack rock, and they partake of the after effects of it, and just they have themselves a good old time. A couple fights break out, but it's the kind of fights that happen when Bruja are loaded up on crack cocaine.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really go too terribly out of far, but it's a raucous time. Like you certainly like. Do you indulge in this at all, or do you just kind of
Probably.
Okay,
Probably.
cool.
It's
Yeah.
not something she does often, but she's not to illicit substances secondhand.
I mean, yeah, that's how kindred do it. So yeah, like you
Yeah.
feel that energy, that pumped up energy, like, and you feel that quickness enter you. You have a dot of celerity for the scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good old time. It's a good old party time. And like, when things kind of chill down, they start like rapping about, shit that's going on in the city and the fucking cam, like that is a topic that keeps coming back, is the fucking cam.
Yeah, Cadence she'll complain loudly.
She's all like, yeah, we heard you got the shit kicked out of you.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. The Hancock is a motherfucker.
Can we okay, so hear me out. We can't go into cam territory, but is there anything stopping us from hiring someone to sick and tired in that embarrassing ride he had?
He's all like, yeah, I like the sound of that. We can absolutely make that happen. I know some dudes. I mean, he's a fucking nos, so who knows? But I see no reason why that can't happen.
Ugh. Beating me up in front of my fucking house.
That is
Nerve.
offsides, man. The fucking cam, the fucking fascist bastards. I tell you what, man.
And see, the thing of it is, they just got talking to my boy Madison about all, respect and domain and, this and that and...
It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. They like to put on a pretty mask, but they're the same rotten pieces of meat behind it, They have no honesty. They have no truth to what they are. They like to make a pretty dance, but they are bastards through and fucking through. Now, Anarchs, Unbound, most of them are bastards too, but we don't fucking play games about it.
Nope.
So yeah, no man, yeah, you know what? We can make that happen. We can make. I know some car guys who can make his ride a little uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Shit yeah, for the fucking movement. We'll make that happen.
The player's just like this is gonna end terribly, but in the heat of the moment, the character's just like, yeah, let's slash his tires.
That's
Yeah,
a
no, I
very
mean-
on cocaine decision to make.
Yeah.
Excellent role playing.
Indeed
you.
it is. Indeed it is. So yeah, unless we have anything further, I think we're gonna end it early for the evening. Just because not much. Not unless you guys have anything you guys want to do.
Good.
No, can't think
Okay.
of much.
Well, we'll go ahead and end it early. Thank you guys very much for coming to play. It's sad that our other two players couldn't make it. Thank you out there in the internet world for watching or watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast. It's been really cool. Like I said, this has kind of been more of a little interlude session. We're definitely going to get to the end of the arc next game when everyone's here. And that's going to be some fun times. All right. Thanks, guys. See y'all later.
I'm gonna play video games. Bye.
Ah!